So there's been some post-PTB changes that are pretty significant. Kings and queens, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. The DBD just put out 6.4.0 post-PTB changes. Let's go ahead and take a look at all of the stuff that is included in this. So they said that the public test beta has come and gone, and you've left us with plenty of feedback to review. Let's take a look at the adjustments to the night. So they said that guards have a few mechanics in place to ensure that they work smoothly. For instance, a guard will phase through obstacles to reach the location where they spotted a survivor. This prevents situations where a guard might have spotted a survivor on the other side of a fence, for example, and waste the majority of their time running around it. So let's see what actual changes they did. They said that the guards will now appear after 1.5 seconds. This is down from 2. The time it takes for a guard to travel to a location to the survivors was detected has been reduced to 2.5 instead of 3, and a guard's detection radius will now grow to full size after 1 second. This is down from 1.5. So all of this is pretty much quality of life changes or just better gameplay changes for all of the guards overall. They basically appear faster, they detect survivors faster, and they now have their full radius way quicker, which is all good things, good buffs, and I'm happy that they decided to do that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next thing. So they said that the Carnifex's banner now activates after 10 seconds. This is up from 8 seconds. And the Jailer and the Assassin banner now activates after 5 seconds, up from 2 seconds. So this is also a pretty significant and good buff. It means that a survivor can't just run and pick up the banner and instantly get that nice little speed boost. So this works out quite well, and I'm happy that they did this. And there's also a distinction, obviously, between the Carnifex and the Assassin and Jailer, which is quite nice, and they're sticking with that, buffing all of them up equally, which I'm pretty happy about. They said on the subject of chases, the Knight also has gained the ability to preemptively cancel a guard's patrol by using his basic attack on them. This will cause the cooldown to begin immediately rather than waiting for the patrol to expire. So this is quite nice as well. In case you want to move a guard, you don't want them to continue to patrol, get him out of there. It is beautiful. I'm very happy with that. They said lastly, they made some adjustments to various add-ons. Here are a list of changes that you can expect. They said that the map of the realm now increases the guard's vision by 4 meters. This is down from 6. Flint and steel. This effect now only applies to unbroken dropped pallets. Healing effects now applied to survivors within a 24-meter radius. It was outside a 32-meter radius. And the Knight's contract increased range to 12, and this is up from 8. So just some balancing with the add-ons, which overall is quite smooth. So overall, the package that we're getting with the Knight is pretty much your standard that you kind of expect, with a little bit more fine-tuning here and there. The guards appearing a little bit faster, the guards being able to get the survivors a little bit quicker, and the guards' detection radius will now be a little bit faster to grow. And then, of course, the Knight itself is just the same. Some of the add-ons tweaked. Overall, not terrible changes. I'm pretty happy with these. I'm sure they would look more into it if there needs to be some changes. I had some personal changes on the list that I really, gave my feedback about, and overall, not so bad. I'm pretty happy with what they decided to do. I will see how this plays out in the full exact game. Now, there's also been some more changes, so let's take a look at those. First of all, we have Hex Face to Darkness. They said that they're going to be reworking this as well. First, affected survivors will now scream every 25 seconds. This makes the perk more consistent than it previously in random intervals from 20 to 40. So now every 25 seconds, the survivor would scream. Think about it like Spies from the Shadows, but you're running into crows directly every 25 seconds. They said that second, survivors will no longer see the aura of the cursed survivor, making it harder to deactivate the perk itself. And third, they've simplified the perk description to make it a lot cleaner. Overall, some pretty healthy changes, and it makes the perk a little bit more viable. And I think this is going to be one of those fun perks that everybody wants to run for a certain gimmick build. They then talked about the Shattered Square itself. One of the biggest concerns that I had was that this map was really, really red. And they've also said in this that they have toned this down. They said, especially for some of their colorblind players, etc., and not seeing the scratch marks, they have toned down the red fog to address the concerns, and we can actually see what they look like. They've also adjusted the palette and hook textures on this map to improve their visibility. So overall, it doesn't look too bad. You know, I'll take it for what it is. It looks a lot more mellow now, so I'm pretty happy about it. There's a lot of red that was going on before, so a lot of the colors kind of contrast each other, and they really clashed, but now it looks pretty good overall. Next on the list are some more flashlight things that I know everyone's been talking about, and let's see what they decided to do with flashlights. They said, we recently announced a buffer system for flashlights which would cue a stun for a short time during the killer's pickup animation. This change is intended to make flashlights less picky while still requiring some knowledge of how to use them and to compensate for the inability to adjust your timing with the recent added cooldown. Unfortunately, this buffer stopped working correctly just before the public test went live, causing blinds at any point in the pickup animation to stun the killer. This was not intended and will be fixed on the issue. Only blinds that take place during this buffer will cue their stun. In the meantime, we've carried out additional tests internally to refine the timing. Since the buffer takes place on the server, not the survivor's client, latency can make the buffer feel much shorter than intended. Therefore, we've increased the buffer to 0.4, up from 0.25 seconds. This will account for latency and make it feel much closer to the originally intended time. We'll be keeping an extra close eye on this mechanic once it goes live. The goal is not to make flashlight saves significantly more common, but rather to make the timing a little more forgiving. Well, there we go. And they said that the chapter release will be on Tuesday, November 22nd. So overall, flashlights are pretty much getting a buff. I know they're saying that they're just balancing it, but trust me. And in my opinion, I think that this is going to be pretty significant. I know people are like, it's just 0.5 seconds. It won't mean that much. But again, I always say, think about your favorite content creator that gets 5, 6, 7 saves in a game. This extra bonus time will be so good for them to correct their mistakes, or if they were off by just a tiny second with their timing, it will be enough to help them, because if you miss it by a second, you have the 0.4 to make it up. I think that this is going to be pretty significant, and we'll see what it actually feels like and what it actually plays like. But I feel like a lot of people are going to get a lot more saves, and it's going to be a lot more abundant. We'll have to wait and see, and obviously they would make changes if that is the case. But flashlight tutorial coming out soon, a new one at least. But there you go, guys. That is pretty much all of the changes and all the things that we got from the PTP. So basically, they are making everything a lot less red. They're fixing the flashlights a little bit more, fixing one perk, which is Hex Face of Darkness, reworking some of the add-ons, or I should say just balancing them, and overall giving a buff to the knight and his guards. So there you go. That is all the news that was in the 2.4.0 post-PTP. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you leave a like down below, subscribe for some more daily Dead by Daylight content, and as always, I'm the king. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.